Jimin was recently spotted leaving a restaurant, and once again the world seemed to pause for a moment just to admire him. There's something about the way he carries himself, calm yet magnetic, elegant yet approachable, that reminds everyone why his every appearance becomes a trending topic. Jimin doesn't need extravagant gestures or loud statements to attract attention. He simply exists and the world takes notice. His smile, his warmth, and that unspoken grace turn the simplest moment, like walking out of a restaurant, into something unforgettable. But beyond that effortless charm, there was another moment that captured hearts and stirred endless conversations. It happened when Jimin noticed a fan in the crowd holding a JiKook sign, a banner celebrating him and Jungkook. Instead of ignoring it, Jimin smiled softly and greeted the fan, his expression gentle and sincere. That small, spontaneous reaction became a spark that reignited countless emotions among fans. For many, it was a sweet acknowledgement, a small, heartwarming connection between Jimin and those who believe in the special bond he shares with Jungkook. But not everyone saw it that way. Some people, especially those who support other pairings, reacted with criticism, calling it disrespectful or inappropriate. They questioned why Jimin would react that way, as if showing kindness or recognition toward a fan's affection could ever be wrong. But if we look deeper, the so-called problem doesn't really lie in Jimin's action. It lies in the discomfort some people feel when confronted with something real. The truth is that the hostility toward moments like this often comes from denial. Denial of the closeness, the chemistry, and the unspoken connection that has existed between Jimin and Jungkook for years. It's a paradox that many fans have noticed. Those who claim to love BTS as a group often end up attacking one of its most genuine bonds. Because no matter how much some try to ignore it, JiKook has always been there. Steady, real, and quietly powerful. Every glance, every touch, every subtle interaction speaks of something authentic, something that can't be scripted or fabricated. And perhaps that's why it unsettles some people. Truth often does. Shortly after that event, Jungkook himself seemed to respond in his own way, not with words but through actions. He posted a video using a trendy fashion-related song, almost perfectly echoing the moment Jimin was living at that time. To casual viewers, it might have looked like just another post. But to those who understand their rhythm, it was clear. Jungkook was paying attention. It was as though his timing, his tone, and even his chosen song were quietly aligned with Jimin's world. This pattern, the silent alignment of their actions, has become something that those who truly observe can't ignore. It's not about coincidences anymore. It's about synchronicity. Every time one of them moves, the other seems to echo that movement in his own way, as if they share an invisible thread that keeps them connected no matter where they are. And that connection, far from fading, only seems to grow stronger. Despite rumors, debates, or fan wars, the reality is undeniable. Jimin and Jungkook continue to reflect one another in the smallest, most meaningful ways. It's in the way they look at each other, those glances that last just a second too long. It's in the way their shoulders turn toward one another even when surrounded by others. It's in the quiet smiles they share, the ones that seem to say, "I see you. I know you." There's something almost sacred about the way their hands meet. Sometimes it's a brief brush, sometimes a gentle hold, but it always feels deliberate, intimate, and charged with meaning. Their hands seem to have a life of their own, reaching instinctively toward each other, as if simple contact is enough to reaffirm everything they feel. Watching them, one can almost sense that these moments aren't meant for us to see, and yet when they happen on camera, they send shivers through anyone paying attention. Body language never lies. And in Jimin and Jungkook, that truth becomes poetry. Their movements betray the depth of their connection. Two souls drawn to one another, unable to resist even when they try to hide it. People may create rumors, rewrite stories, or try to downplay what they share. But in the end, the reality always prevails. What Jimin and Jungkook have is too genuine to be erased by noise. Their affection, no matter how understated, speaks louder than any fabricated headline. Jungkook has never needed to say much to make it clear where his heart lies. His actions, his attentiveness, his quiet care, his constant presence around Jimin reveal everything. He once said that Jimin makes him feel at peace, that Jimin is someone who completes and grounds him. That comfort, that consistency, is the foundation of something that can't be broken by time or rumor. Because what binds them isn't performance or coincidence. It's choice. The constant choice to be there for each other, to understand, to protect, and to express affection in ways that don't always need words. Their connection isn't about grand declarations. It's about patterns, those repeated gestures that form a language of their own. At first, they might look like small coincidences. A shared look, a mutual smile, a mirror-like reaction. But when you observe them over time, a clear pattern emerges. A rhythm that feels too consistent to be accidental. Every interaction between them carries a sense of familiarity, a comfort that comes only from years of trust. It's the way their eyes instinctively seek each other out, the way their bodies lean closer as if drawn by gravity. These are not isolated gestures. They are habits born of intimacy. And that's the key difference. While others might fake closeness for the camera, Jimin and Jungkook's connection feels lived in. It's organic, effortless, and profoundly real. You can see it in the smallest things. A passing smile, a shared laugh, a glance that lingers just long enough to reveal everything. The discomfort some feel watching them isn't because they do anything wrong. It's because they do everything right. They are genuine in a world that often rewards the opposite. Their connection reminds us that authenticity still exists, even in an industry built on appearances. Jungkook's constant awareness of Jimin, his ability to notice the smallest things, the way he mirrors Jimin's moods, isn't just coincidence. It's emotional attunement. When someone occupies that much space in your awareness, it's not random. It's love in its quietest, most natural form. And Jimin, for his part, responds with that same depth. A softness in his voice when he speaks Jungkook's name, a tenderness in the way his eyes follow him. Their exchanges, no matter how subtle, carry a weight that only those who've experienced something similar can truly understand. They don't need to prove anything. They don't chase validation or dramatize their bond. Their love, whether you see it as friendship, soul connection, or something deeper, manifests in action, not performance. When they're together, the space between them changes. The atmosphere softens. Their shoulders relax. The air feels lighter. And in that shared silence, 1,000 unspoken words seem to pass between them. What they have isn't habit or coincidence. It's a way of existing. A state they fall into naturally whenever they're together. As if the world rearranges itself just to make room for them. And maybe that's what makes their bond so mesmerizing. It's not about labels or explanations. It's about two people whose souls seem to recognize each other over and over again, no matter where they go. Jimin and Jungkook don't need to shout their connection from the rooftops. They live it. It's in every look, every touch, every silence that speaks louder than words. Their story is not about perfection but about authenticity. About finding someone who feels like home again and again in a world that's constantly trying to pull you apart. And that's why, no matter how much some try to deny it, the truth always shines through. Jimin and Jungkook don't need anyone's approval to exist the way they do. Because what they share isn't a theory or a fantasy. It's real. It's alive. And it's written in the language of every heartbeat they share.